think that helped the connection now. The connection was kind of bad at first, but I think it fixed it. All right. If it didn't, please let me know if it is choppy or laggy. I will disconnect from the Wi-Fi. But I hope all is well with everybody. We're going to get started for today. Today we're going to be talking about breaking the cycle and restoring your body from a space of healing, and understanding how you can get to that space within a little bit of maybe about a month, give or take, depending on how dedicated you are to changing what is going on inside of your body. And so there are many people out here that are in the space of not knowing what's going on with their body and not listening to the wake-up call that their body's trying to give them, but instead believing in trendy detoxes and crash diets and not getting the knowledge that they need for transformation. And so they think that these things don't work, or they're thinking there's something wrong with their body, but in reality they don't have the strategy that truly helps you be able to change and shift your lifestyle, your habits, your body's outcome. Because these signs that you're having for fatigue, inflammation, the issues that you're having with irregular cycles, painful cycles, all of these are signs from your body. And you did not just land here by accident with a body that turns against you, that is not working properly, but it's because your spirit is telling you, I'm tired of feeling this way. Your body is telling you, I'm tired of feeling this way. And something is not right in your body, so you have to sit there and have a discerning thought and have the recollection of, okay, what habits have brought me here? What is going to make me feel at home in my own body again? How did I get to the space of not being supported and not healing from the inside out? My dog's hair deciding he wanted to fly now. Because the truth is, and there is truth behind your symptoms when it comes to the fatigue, when it comes to the mental fog, when it comes to the bloating, when it comes to the painful menstrual cycle, there is truth behind it that you're not getting to by believing in diet cultures, crash diets, when you're believing in detoxing from a space of Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, and you're following all of these trendy things that are in the weight loss realm. You're not getting to the nitty-gritty truth, and they're not telling you the truth in all these programs that you're paying into and spending thousands of dollars in. Because you're walking around exhausted physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Your body feels heavy. Your belly is bloated. And then on top of that, you're living off of coffee, you're skipping your meals, you're constantly trying to just push through the fatigue and push through to make it to the next day. And deep down, you're blaming your body, and you're not cooperating with your body. And so then now you think that your body's not cooperating with you, but your body's been giving you signs to let you know that you are over-inflamed, and you keep adding on inflammatory foods. You keep using inflammatory products. And the truth behind it all is that your body is not broken. Your body has not betrayed you. In reality, your body is asking and begging for you to pay attention, but you haven't paid attention, nor have you changed anything to actually shift the way that your body interacts with you every single day, how it supports you every single day, because you don't support it every single day. And so instead of you supporting it and helping it, you're blaming it. You're calling your symptoms of fatigue, bloating, acne, cravings, the irritability, the hormonal imbalances, overall the painful menstrual cycles, you're sitting there viewing them as punishments. But these are not punishments. They're just signs from your body to let you know that your hormones are out of whack. And you can help heal that, but you have to understand how to do that from a correct space, not a momentary band-aid of managing. Not ignoring the signals, but understanding that these signs are signals from your gut, from your liver, from your pancreas, from your kidneys. All of these are signs from your nervous system that you are out of whack. Thank you for these gifts. I really appreciate it. And so you're overwhelmed on the inside, and you feel like you can't do this anymore, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. You're tired, you're exhausted, you're taxed. And it's because your discomfort is momentarily satisfied with a prescription, with a surgery, with you eating something that you have no business eating, but it gave you that emotional stimulation with your dopamine. You doing all these different things, or taking a caffeine shot, or drinking coffee in general in the AM, and thinking that this is going to give you the energy that you need, and you just need another one throughout the day and another one, and now you have 3, 4, 5 different coffees in one day. Or you believe that you could do Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, or just do any type of crash diet, and this is going to support you in losing weight, feeling good. And then you try to do this, okay, now I'm going to fast. I'm not going to eat past this time. I'm going to fast until 12. And you're doing this back and forth, back and forth. Now you're going to add a supplement in. And you're going through this full circle of just imbalances, not supporting your system, not understanding how you are in this momentary band-aid state. Because all you're doing is trying little sprinkles of everything instead of sticking with one thing, because none of the sprinkles of the things that you're doing are actually working. And the reason why it's not working is because you don't need something else to manage. You don't need another doctor's visit to give you some type of prescription. You don't need another doctor's visit to schedule your appointment for your surgery. You don't need to be sitting here thinking that, okay, I need Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, paleo, I can get it out, paleo, or Jenny Craig, or any of that other stuff. But you have to realize that you're not in alignment with what your body is needing. And since you are out of alignment so bad, you need to get to the root cause of the issue. How did I get here? Why am I here? Why am I not healing? Starting to actually tally up the things that have led you down in an inflammatory state. Starting to tally up how many years you've actually been in this space. How many years you've used this product. How many years you've used momentary band-aids. How many years you didn't actually know how to eat correctly. Because majority of people have never eaten correctly. Since they first started getting fed, thank you for the follows, since they first started snacking, since they first even learned how to start chewing things and eating solid foods, we have been given inflammatory foods that makes us toxic on the inside. And our body holds on to those toxins and doesn't know what to do with them. And so instead of us actually using that nutrients and feeling good from the nutrients that we think that we consider this as food, so we should be using, instead we're sitting here dealing with irregular cycles, being in pain, having discomfort, sitting here dealing with hormonal imbalances, and overall thinking that there's something wrong with our body, and we're telling ourselves the lie of the fact that there is something wrong with our body and manage it with a prescription. You're taught weight gain, painful cycles, painful menstrual cycles, fatigue, brain fog are all things that are a part of normal when you become a woman and you're going in adulthood. This is normal things to deal with. From a very young age, it's getting younger and younger. They're telling you these things are normal. But they're not normal. That's a lie. These are all lies because they don't want you to view this as a whole societal problem, but rather a personal problem, that there is something wrong with your personal body. But when you look at the statistics and you see that there are millions of women dealing with the same issue, it can't be one singular personal problem when there are millions of women dealing with hormonal imbalances, when there are millions of women that don't know how a regular cycle should look and feel. That is not a personal problem. That's a systematic problem. It's a spiritual problem. It's cultural. And these are all fixable areas that we can tackle if we have the right strategy. But we aren't taught the right strategy, but we're taught how to manage. Thank you guys for the likes and the follows. I really appreciate it. So we have to first start breaking down, for us to get to the root cause of the issue, breaking down what's going on inside of our body and understanding the misconceptions. It's a misconception to believe that weight gain, painful cycles, dealing with fatigue, sitting there dealing with brain fog are just normal and a part of being a woman. That's a misconception. And if you don't believe that that's a misconception, then you have been so heavily trained into the programming that you now can't even see and recognize how there's a problem when your body is not operating correctly. If you're viewing that your body itself is the issue and not the actions, then you have been misled. Because every single action that you have, like we've been taught from a very, very young age, has a consequence. When you start to learn cause and effect when you're younger, when you're, I think, around the age of 1 or 2, when you start to realize, okay, if I roll, not only think it's 1 or 2, I really feel like it's like 8 months. When you start to just simply like roll things down a hill. Let's say you have a little ramp. You roll it down, oh my goodness, I caused the ball to roll down the hill. Think about your body doing the same thing. Every single day, you're pushing your body down the hill, pushing your body down the hill. And you know that the return effect, you're going to fall down the hill. You're going to slide down the hill. Hi, Thriving. So you're doing that to your body with foods. Every single day, you're throwing your body down that same hill with the foods that you eat, with the products that you use. But yet you expect, after the millionth time of your body going down that same hill, your body's supposed to give back to you. Your body's supposed to feel good and not overstimulated. But you overload your pancreas with all these toxic sugars, caffeine, processed carbs, processed snacks in general, and it spikes your blood sugar. And then when you're sitting here spiking your blood sugar every single day, it spikes your blood sugar. And then when you're sitting here spiking your blood sugar every single day, especially by skipping meals instead of setting yourself up to an appropriate way to fast, then you're having your body feeling dizzy, having these crashes, and then you're sitting here constantly craving sweets. You're constantly craving snacks, and you're irritable throughout the day, and you're trying to figure out why. You think, oh, I'm just hangry. But in reality, your blood sugar has gone through a spike and a crash, a spike and a crash every time you eat, every time you fast, and then you break that fast with food because you didn't set your body up with stabilizers during, before, or after you ate. And so then now your body is going through this up and down cycle every single day. And then you hit 30, you hit 40, you hit 50, and you're sitting here thinking, how in the world did I develop insulin resistance? Or, this is the one that really gets me, the people who are like, well, it runs in my family. I was just waiting for it to happen. I expected it. Because it doesn't run in your family. Every single woman, if you say all the women in my family get diabetes, every single woman in your family has the same eating habits. It's not the fact that it runs in your family. It's that everybody has set their body up to be in an insulin resistant state. And it's okay for you to not know these things and to come to the realization. But the key is, are you going to change that, or are you going to keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result? Because if you're going to keep doing the same thing and hoping that something is going to change for you because you miraculously believe that your body is any different, I'm going to burst that bubble. You're going down the same path of everybody else. All these women, millions of women, dealing with the same issue. Having irregular cycles, painful menstrual cycles, developing fibroids or cysts. Sitting here dealing with hormonal imbalances overall, which cause you to literally lose your mind. Because not only are you not mentally sound, so then you're sitting here dealing with anxiety, you're sitting here dealing with depression, panic attacks. And this starts not only in the pancreas when it comes to your blood sugar regulation, but also the gut. So these are two aspects that we know that we have an issue with, because there are millions of women dealing with IBS specifically. Millions of people dealing with IBS, but women specifically are raising way higher than men when it comes to the IBS. And IBS is not only just a physical issue with what you eat, but it's also an energetic issue. So when you're sitting here and you're not regulating yourself every day with stabilizers, you're already having anxiety and depression, you do realize that that is also going to cause a disruption in every other aspect of your life. So then now you're sitting here with a dysregulated gut, and you're trying to figure out why all of a sudden you have leaky gut syndrome, but it's because you've been anxious for years, and now your gut biome is not where it needs to be. And so then now you developed IBS for years from you sitting in an anxious state and not supporting the body. And this is just a couple of aspects of the body. This is not even talking about how your liver is overloaded, which your liver is your detoxification. So when you're not getting the foods and using them as medicine, getting the foods that your body needs and using them as medicine, you're building yourself up with toxins from the products that you use, hormonal stress, alcohol if you drink it, all this meat, all this dairy, all these processed snacks, medications. It's causing your liver to be overloaded with toxins. And it cannot filter effectively after so long of having to work overtime. And you also don't realize this, because I talk to women who don't understand this because they're not taught this. And so they're like, oh, that makes a whole lot of sense of why I'm estrogen dominant. When your liver is overloaded already, it's supposed to naturally be expelling that excess estrogen that you don't need, which causes cancer. And so when it can't do that, estrogen starts to build up. And so when you can't detoxify all the crap that you were eating inside of your body and your liver is overloaded, you are going to have estrogen build up, which causes estrogen dominance. Estrogen dominance leads you to have a number of different issues: infertility issues, developing fibroids, you having endometriosis, you sitting here dealing with the issues of now you can't have children. It's not the fact that you have to detox your liver and everything is going to be fine, but understanding that each system has a purpose and each system builds off of each other. So if one system is off, all the others are going to start failing and shutting down as well. It takes longer. So it can happen, start happening when you start hitting puberty, but then it doesn't start affecting you until you're 40. But they're seeing in the numbers that it's starting to affect people earlier and earlier each generation that we go down the line. So that whole concept that we have that you only start to develop these things when you get older has to stop. Because we know that kids get cancer. We know that children develop diabetes. But why are we not looking at why? Why are we not starting to tackle, okay, why are more teens starting to develop diabetes? Why are more teens going into an insulin resistant state? Because we're not taught to question. We're taught to conform. Take this prescription. Get this medication. Go on ahead and have this surgery. Do Jenny Craig and Weight Watchers because this is the new popular thing. Keto, paleo. This is the new facade diet. But when you break down the acronym of diet, when you break those two words in half, it says die it. What is dying? Because the terrible habits aren't dying. The toxic foods aren't dying. Your terrible habits aren't dying. So what's dying? All those organs inside of you that you believe that you're supporting right now by doing this liver detox because this is the new crazy facade thing, that's what's dying. You really have to look at the systematic oppression that we are under, because everybody's oppressed, no matter what race you were under. If you were still believing in the program, you were in oppression. And plenty of people are, because you still go to the doctor and take their word for it, and now you're crying to everybody that you have diabetes and you have to take insulin for the rest of your life. Instead of you realizing, okay, they said I have diabetes, so what I need to start doing is eating less processed toxic sugar, eat more natural sugar, and start supporting my system. Okay, so I understand that my habits have not been good. I use terrible toxic products. I eat a bunch of processed snacks, and I drink coffee all day long. Maybe I should stop getting coffee all day long, or at least start making a non-toxic version to give me some energy. I know I'm going to start drinking more natural energy producing foods and drinks. Start consuming more things that give me natural health. Start using food as medicine. Because when you do that, there is no, oh, I'm suffering and I hate this and I'm starving, but rather understanding this is how my body should have felt for years, and it hasn't because I wasn't taught this. And so now I don't have to stay in the space of diabetes, but now I understand that I led myself here, and so I'm going to fix it by going on the correct path, because I'm not on the correct path currently. Because the lifestyle that I'm living is leading me down the path of being ill, developing diseases, and being uncomfortable for the rest of my life. And then playing a guessing game. But when you go down the correct path with the strategy that is going to support you, you won't be sitting here dealing with the liver overloaded. Thank you for the follows and the likes, guys. You won't be sitting here dealing with the pancreas that is overstimulated and can't produce natural insulin anymore because your cells no longer recognize sugar correctly. You're not sitting here dealing with a gut that's overinflamed because you are living on years of fast food, hormone disrupting additives and fillers, and then sitting here thinking that there is something wrong with your gut. And so then now you're working out extra hard and you're trying to figure out why all of a sudden your cycle is so painful, because your body didn't need you to work out extra hard. Your body needed you to focus in on the fact that food is medicine. Stop eating all that crap. Your kidneys won't be sitting here dealing with a depletion, because not only are you going to be hydrated and oxygenated, but you're also not going to be sitting here dealing with emotional weight of emotional eating. And that puts a strain on your kidneys' filtration system. And so your energy is leaking from each aspect, your liver, your pancreas, your gut, your kidneys, and you're not putting two and two together why you have no energy when you wake up. Because your energy is leaking. And it's consistently leaking because of your habits. And so instead of you leaking, understand that this can be shifted, but you have to create the space for you to shift. Well, I'm glad that you were here, that you're plant-based. How are you doing? Welcome in. When you are creating the space for your lifestyle to change by assessing the habits that you have and really changing that, you'll actually feel at home in your body and feel like you can breathe again. You'll actually understand how the body is supposed to function and how it's supposed to feel. But when you're sitting here dealing with the emotional weight, the physical weight, the spiritual weight, and then you have to deal with every other thing that is going on in your life, you're going to sit here and think that there's something wrong with your body and keep doing diet culture. And then when you keep doing diet culture and it doesn't work, you're going to keep relying on a prescription. And then when you go down later on in life and they're sitting there telling you you developed fibroids and cysts, now you're thinking you need a surgery. It's an endless path of depending on the same system that has poisoned you and made you toxic. Hi Whitney, how you doing? Welcome in. So, if you are ready to release that emotional and spiritual impact as well as the physical impact, you have to realize that trusting in your own body starts mentally. Realizing that, yes, subconsciously and consciously I have trained myself to do these terrible habits. So I have to trust myself to start changing and shifting. relying on yourself in this journey is not the only way for you to change, but it is allowing you to understand that, hey, I can do this. And if you need support, find community. I'm community that can help you. I have been plant-based for almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years in October. You don't have to do it alone, but it can be done. There is a difference. When you're sitting here thinking that you have to be scared of eating, scared of food, sitting here thinking that you're going to lack stability and that you're being lazy, that's the negative mindset that's going to keep you in the same space. But when you realize that there's no reason to be scared of food, that they have programmed you to be scared of food so you keep eating the same poison, you'll understand that that's the same societal system that has led you down a path of not knowing how to take care of your body. It has led you down a path of not knowing how to sync with your cycle. It has led you down the path of thinking that your emotional and your spiritual weight is something to put off until tomorrow, because at the end of the day, as long as you're eating and feeding your babies, it's all right. You're not lazy. You just don't have the strategy to help you further yourself along. And so then now you're sitting here thinking that you're lacking that stability and there's no way for you to gain it. And you're contacting all these gurus and therapists thinking that there's something wrong with you mentally, when in reality it's because you've eaten yourself into insanity. It's not the fact that there's something wrong with you and you have no stability in your life. It's the fact that you've eaten yourself into literally losing your mind. Because a lot of y'all are not realizing that, especially, and I'm not saying there is no mental health without all of these crazy foods, but what I'm saying is a lot of y'all are on antidepressants and all these medications, and a lot of y'all just have to eat better. And I know you hate to hear it, but it's facts. Same thing with a lot of these, not even a majority of these diseases, chronic illnesses. All you need to do is eat better. I'm not saying that mental illness does not exist, but what I'm saying is, if you were sitting there eating hot chips and Cheetos and Swedish fish and all this different stuff, and you're crying about it the next day, why do you think? Like, you have a girls' night out, y'all are having movie night, you eat all this junk all weekend, and then you're wondering why on Monday you feel like crap, you have no energy, and then on top of that, by Friday, you're having a mental breakdown. And I'm not speaking as just somebody who's just done research and, oh, I see this pattern. I actually lived it. I used to eat the same things that y'all are currently eating in a normal lifestyle, what they consider norm. Now here I am, almost 5 years into this lifestyle, and I don't have those times where I'm sitting here dealing with anxiety and panic attacks and I can't figure out where it's coming from and why. Because before I was just hit out of nowhere, a wave of depression, confused, not understanding. I was perfectly fine an hour ago. I don't know why I'm so sad. Because you were literally hormonally imbalanced to the point where you can't even regulate your own emotions. There's a difference between somebody else impacting your emotions and when your own insides are impacting your emotions to the point where you can't regulate. And that's what's happening to a lot of women in society. A lot of women. It's been so long of only being on the rhythm of hustle, stress, diet culture, shaming your body, shaming yourself, shaming others, that y'all don't even realize how to start feeling good. And so then you start on Monday and you do it all over again. Your body shouldn't feel like it's fighting you or feel like a battleground. You should know how to make your body feel like home again and stay in that space. But the reason why you're feeling so unstable and overrun and like your energy is just on the edge of like none is because you have no foundation to rebuild off of. You have no foundation to build period with. Not just patching, but a foundation to build on. Because right now your foundation has cracks, full of patches, full of band-aids, full of different type of what is that thing, caulking that you put in between the bath. You got all this stuff in the cracks and crevices and you're trying to fill it up. You're putting paper wads, everything in between that you can think of, instead of starting over. Because that's what you need, a new foundation. You can't build foundation sitting here like this, a little crooked, holes all up in it. You can't build a house on that. You can't build stability on that. So thinking that you don't have to start over, that you don't have to change, is going to keep you building on that rocky foundation with no stability. And you're going to keep getting the same results of feeling like you have to starve yourself, not getting that reset that you needed, feeling depleted. But when you are ready and you actually start that new foundation and you are either looking for it with the strategy that I provide you, or you see all the content that I post and you realize it's possible and you start making a change for yourself, which you should already be doing because we're already in the 2030 agenda. You're no longer going to be sitting here questioning if you can do it, but you'll start to see the reset. You'll understand that cleanses aren't about you starving yourself, but actually about feeding yourself and filling the body with what you need. Understanding that it's not a detox that is depleting you, but it's rather because you don't set yourself up correctly with any type of stabilizers or correct nutritional value. So then when you try to detox, your body has nothing to detoxify because it's sitting, or rather it has nothing to build off of to detoxify. So it's sitting here trying to release everything that it possibly can that is easy. Not difficult, but easy. Because it's easy to flush the basics. Okay, the base minimum parasites. Okay, your gut is a little overloaded. There you go. And you get a good bowel movement in and you're feeling great, right? But you don't realize that you still have tons of crap stored inside of you, tons of parasites still stored in you. And so then you think that week cleanse really did something, and you go along and you eat like crap for another 6 months, and then you're wondering why all of a sudden now you ended up in the hospital. You need a reset that is actually going to teach you how to trust yourself again. It's going to teach you how to detoxify and to cleanse yourself. Not something that is going to make you feel shamed, starve, calorie count, restrict, but actually understand what real food, real structure, and real healing looks like. Regulation. Focusing on how to regulate your blood sugar. Focus on how to repair the gut and the liver. Understanding how to use food as your medicine so that your kidneys aren't working overtime. So your gut biome is where it's supposed to be. I don't know why I said that like that. Your gut biome is where it's supposed to be. Cycle syncing support by understanding how to eat correctly so that you're not sitting here just eating any and everything. And actually getting you spiritually aligned with what the body is supposed to feel like. So I will take any questions that you have. And if you are looking for that alignment, if you're looking for that no starvation, that no shame, no calorie counting, but actual real food and real structure and real healing, I am doing a 4-week detox. That 4-week detox is priced at $111 for my birthday, because usually they're not that low priced. For my birthday, I am doing that for $111. We're doing it for 4 weeks. We're going to start on the 20th. The 20th, you'll get all your informational emails so that you can go ahead and start shopping, and then we will start on the 21st. So what I'm looking for about 6 to 8 women. I think I'm going to cap it at 6, but I'm willing to go to 8. I want us to do a 4-week cleanse, a 4-week detox for us to not only gain that blood sugar regulation and that liver and that gut repair, but also learning how to use food as our medicine and getting spiritually aligned. We're all going through a taxing time right now. So there is no reason for you to not be able to at least feel good in the space of not only your body looking good, but feeling good internally. And so how we get to that space is understanding how to use food as our medicine first. You can get that with Klarna, Affirm, or Afterpay for $111. If you guys have any questions, like I said, we are starting on the 20th. So if you have not already inquired about getting in there, you can DM me 4 weeks. I will send you the direct link or the link. I don't think the link is in my bio yet. I need to change that because I did send an email out to my email list to let them know that it is open for them to go on ahead and start signing up and securing their spot. So if those spots are gone, those spots are gone. You'll have to wait till the next one. But like I said, this is a special for my birthday month. So it's usually not at $111. It's usually around $247. So I'm taking off a hefty amount of what I normally do because I like to try to give back for my birthday. I'm also thinking about one more give back at the end of the month. I haven't decided exactly what it's going to be, but we will see. I appreciate y'all guys for all the likes. What questions do you have for me? And I want you to take this visual with you while y'all are thinking of questions, or if you don't have any questions, this will be the last thing that I leave you with. But let's do a visual. I want you to sit back and think, because this is what I plan and this is what my goal is for every woman that is in that program by the end of the 4 weeks. Waking up and feeling energy and feeling rested. Actually having that energy and being able to use it. Not having midday crashes or having to depend on coffee. Not having to sit here and feel bloated even if you didn't eat a meal, and especially after eating a meal. feeling like I had to feel, not feeling like, but actually understanding and feeling that hunger is not something for you to shame yourself for, but understanding that when you are hungry, that means that you didn't get what you needed with nutrients if you've already eaten. And if you have not eaten, hunger is not something to be ashamed of. That's your body responding to life. Every single day you are going to have hunger because your body has been trained since you were literally born to eat every single day. There is nothing wrong with you getting hungry. There is nothing wrong with you eating. It's a matter of what you were eating and how you were feeling the body. Feeling at home in your body again and feeling comfortable eating. This is how you should feel in the normal. So when you don't feel like this, then you need to start getting that foundation for a cleanse so that you can come back to your home. No more symptom management. Not sitting here trying to reset your body with this weight loss cleanser of Jenny Craig and Weight Watchers, but actually getting the wisdom and the strategy that is going to help you stay, the strategic way to stay in the space. So like I said, you can get that for 111. You're gonna have to DM me 4 weeks so that I can know that you are ready, and I'm gonna send you the link. There's no reason for the back and forth. We're getting ready to detox. We are getting ready to cleanse. There shouldn't be any question about what we're going to be doing because we're breaking down exactly in this video. And if you have missed this full video, it will be posted on YouTube later on, the full live. Not this video, but this full live. So you can get a Klarna Firmer Afterpay, like I said. If you have any questions, drop them down. And if not, I'm going to hop off. But I do post all of my past lives on YouTube. You can go check that out. My YouTube is linked in my bio. You can go look that up. If you're watching this later on YouTube, or if you have not signed up for my email list, that is also linked in my bio. I send out a Wellness Wednesday email every single week. That's what I've been doing this year, sending out just wellness tips and things that I have looked up and researched, just informational things. If you're feeling out of balance, you are not broken. This is just a sign to let you know that you are dysregulated, and we have to get back to the space of regulation, and that's okay. So what questions do you have for me? And if not, I'm going to hop off. I'm gonna give you all about 1 more minute, and if I've clarified everything, great. That's amazing. I love that. I love that. My dog is sitting here up under me. Yeah, I said you. She's right here. She's so babyfied. She's so babyfied. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you. Okay, bless you again. I feel like she's gonna sneeze one more time because I said bless you. She's making the face. She's like, maybe I will. All right, I'm not seeing any questions, so I'm going to hop off and see if she needs to go and do any business. If not, she can probably just go back to sleep. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Today is Monday. I'm going to try to go back on live tomorrow. I feel like she's making noises because I'm talking. All right. I'm going to try to go back on live tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow, I'll be back on Wednesday. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of y'all's night, or rest of your day, and hope you have a great night. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. Like I said, I will be posting that link in my bio. So if you're thinking later on and you're like, you know what, I want to sign up for it. I only have limited spots, so don't miss out on those spots. It is 111. Like I said, you can get a Klarna Firmer Afterpay to get into that detoxification for 4 weeks. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of y'all's day. And peace, y'all.